All right, if everybody's ready, we'll begin with a little recap of our adventures last week. Things began when Tana, along with his long-suffering, what's the word I'm looking for? Disciple? No. Trainee? No. Mentee?
Apprentice?
Apprentice. Need an English professor over here. With your long-suffering apprentice, Loretta Wiggles, receiving a strange client, a kid fox named Drena, who was very interested in your special skill, your ability to carve special runes into weapons to empower them with, we're not going to say it too loud, but with demonic power. And she asked you to look up for a very specific rune that she would like, and so you took that job on. Just around that time, a little pile of rags that you thought was perhaps a beggar of some sort revealed himself to be rather a monk, an elven monk named Jinandriel, who approached you and proffered a weapon that he wanted you to take a look at. I did miss up one little thing, so if you'll allow me, I will just rewind here for a little second. The adventure that we are playing is set in the Cloven Lands. This is a world that was long ago split apart by forces as dragons and demons battled each other. The dragons and demons basically fought each other almost into complete destruction, with only very few of each remaining in this world. The world was then taken over by the servants of the dragons, which were the elves, and for a long time they ruled this world. But the power of the dragons and the demons in the war had cloven the world sort of in half. In time, the elves' kingdom sort of fell apart and was soon replaced by the appearance of these four massive free cities. One of these is called Summer. And it is the city that you inhabit. So we are situated sort of in the north, as Summer is a city that is built upon an ever-frozen lake. All the houses are built on stilts and on wooden platforms, the spikes of which are set up, are set through the ice and down into the lake. Parts of the lake during certain parts of the season, the ice is a little bit more breakable, so they can move some boats around a little bit, but for the most part it's kind of always winter up here. But it is a place of warmth and good cheer. People are very community driven. People have very big homes where several families live in, and there's a lot of strong community. It is run by the Wintersbane Wolfkin clan that has run this for several generations now, and this is where a lot of you find yourselves. And so when Jinandriel approached you, he presented you with a dagger, a very special weapon that seemed to be, first of all, the hilt of it was done in the shape of a dragon, and the blade was of a material that you'd never seen before, and it boasted runes that you yourself had never seen before. And so the two of you had decided that you would go and see your contact about these demon runes to see sort of what this weapon might be about. At that time, you were being spied upon. Leander, the Grimalkin thief, had his eye on the shop because, as it turns out, his bosses, Leander's bosses at the Night House, which is sort of the thieves guild of the area, have suspicions that Loretta Wiggles, your apprentice, is actually a sought-after murderer, an assassin who killed a Night House leader in one of the other cities. And so they've dispatched Leander to keep an eye on Loretta to figure out whether or not she might be this person that they're looking for. At the same time, we saw Odile, the bard, who came upon Leander looking for a specific contact, Errol, the scholar. As it turned out, Errol is the father of Leander. The four of you found your way to Errol's tower in the middle of the city. where you immediately gained entrance with Errol welcoming his son Leander very warmly into the house. Leander, sort of a petulant teenager, perhaps a little bit kind of huffing and puffing his way through it. As the lot of you were admitted into the tower, you shared tea and biscuits with Errol, and eventually all of you started presenting your various queries to him, all of these having to do with demons, as Errol is himself a scholar, a preeminent scholar of demon history and demon magic in this world. As you were showing him the weapon and discussing what it might represent, you were attacked by a group of chaos demons who attempted to assassinate Errol. You fought together bravely and managed to dispatch these two chaos demons, not without a little bit of sweat, blood, and tears, as they proved to be fairly difficult enemies to defeat. You found Errol lying wounded, and before you departed, you were able to find on these demons a couple of interesting things, a couple of weapons, which you picked up to study later, but also a couple of insignias. Each one of them was carrying a special insignia that when the demon died, the insignia was made of the same metal as the dagger, but when the demon died, the insignia's metal started turning blue. And you now have these rune inlaid insignias that when you stare at it a little bit too long, the runes start to transform and move, and it's as if you're looking through a peephole into another world, a world that is filled with demons that are fighting each other, that are decimating each other, and eventually you are staring upon a field of dead demon bodies. It is very unsettling, and you have found that it's best not to stare at this for too long. You took Errol to a nearby place where you could get some some healing services for him. At the end of the evening, you discovered certain things, which we will address momentarily. But you all went home, got some rest, and after a shift of rest, so 8 hours of rest, you all recover your hit points and your willpower points. Rob, Tana, you have decided to take a look at the swords that you found. You found them to be inert, or at least non-magically active now that the demons are dead, but you've discovered that they have special runes on them that you've never seen. So if you wouldn't mind going ahead and rolling me a d6 and adding 2, and we'll determine how long it might take you to learn these runes.
Okay, let's see what happens.
No!
Yep. So that'd be a 6 plus 2. That's gonna be an 8. So let's.
It'll take 8 shifts of study, and it's okay if you're resting. You just can't be doing anything that would require dice rolling or intense travel or anything like that during those shifts. I will still consider, if you spend a shift studying them, I will still consider that you get the rest from it. Okay, but you do have to keep track of those to see how long it might take you to cover the meaning of those runes.
I am marking that down now.
Bleakseason, I have a question.
Yes.
I am a ding-dong doof and didn't write down my max hit points versus what damage I took or how much willpower I burnt and what I started with.
So your max hit points is your con plus 20.
Okay, great. Thanks,
and
boss.
And your max willpower is your willpower.
Tell me that I'm very pretty. Please. Please, because I will die.
I'm going to make Adrian jealous.
Okay.
You're prettier than the rising sun and prettier than the setting sun. How about that?
That sounded rehearsed.
That sounded rehearsed. You know, I keep a number of these things on my desk at all times for emergency.
Couple post-it notes. Got it.
I have no clue what I was saying, but yes, so you get your rest. You did find out a number of things. Chief among them was that you found a journal that belonged to Errol, and in it you found a number of interesting bits of information. We'll go through them as you sort of discuss them tonight, but one of them was that Errol had at some point been in love with a demon named Syroxa, which was important to some of you. After a night of rest, the morning comes. Mornings are always interesting here in summer, because summer is a strange place. Because even though it is cold and there is snow and ice on everything, there is very often a clear blue sky and a beautiful sun that shines up in the sky. It's just very cold sun. It's not very warm, but it provides enough warmth most of the time, and certainly enough light to, when coupled with the amount of snow and ice, of white snow and ice that is surrounding the city, or especially early in the morning, you get this incredible effect where as the sun is rising on the side where there are no mountains over the lake, it creates this intense field of ambers and red that play on the snow and the ice. And for a very few brief minutes early in the morning, at the the earliest moments when the sun is breaking the horizon, the world around you seems entirely made of fire rather than of snow. And while this doesn't necessarily reflect in how warm it is a very beautiful sight, and people kind of traditionally get up quite early and never tire of seeing it. And then as the sun rises up in the sky, the light dims a little bit and becomes a little bit of a colder blue light. But it is always quite bright out here. Being snowblind is a real thing when you venture outside of the city. And that light is very, very strongly reflected around. So the city is, during the day, an incredibly bright place to be in, and it makes waking up late kind of difficult. So early enough, all of you are awake. You hear the city coming to life around you. As people walk along the planks, they always creak and crack, and the ice is always creaking and cracking, and people are moving through and through, and going to the market and settling down to eat some food, and you smell the smoke of the chimney and the food cooking and all that. And it's always kind of a pleasant experience to wake up in summer. What is it that you do first thing in the morning? Let's start with we started with Rob, and then went to Adrian, and then Cato, and then Myriad last time. So let's start with Myriad this time. What is Odile doing first thing in the morning? First of all, where's Odile laid her head?
I imagine there's probably like an inn around, correct?
There are several inns. The inns here are these kind of Viking style long houses. The front half of it is tables and chairs and a bar where people can hang out and eat and drink, and there's a very long fire pit that goes almost the entire length of the building. And then there's a partition about maybe two-thirds of the way back, so about a third of the room is partitioned off with these wooden walls and curtains, and on the other side are these rows of beds that go all around the fire pit. It's very nice and very warm to sleep in there. It's always a communal room. A lot of the rooms and the houses are very communal based in summer, but you would easily have been able to find yourself a place to stay at one of these inns for sure.
Yeah, I think I would have, Odile would have offered to play, do a little ditty perform at the inn in order to secure room and board, because she doesn't want to pay. She has money, she just doesn't want to pay.
Let's see how successful you were with that. Go ahead and give me a performance check. If you use any powers, let me know what they are.
I think I have anything that actually helps me in here, but that's a 12 on a 14. Excellent.
So you succeed. In this game, you have to roll under the target, equal or under the target. So you walk in, they're a little bit, they're very welcoming. When you say that you'll exchange a night of performance for a bed and a food in the morning or something, they're very happy to let you have a go at it. You wow them, people are dancing, and you find that the people here are very, very warm, very genial, very into having fun, and it probably comes from the fact that, you know, life is kind of hard here, so they're very much into at night going into these inns and taverns and drinking and partying and dancing and singing. And is your repertoire, you think, kind of very local and popular, or do you have kind of very exotic songs you think that you bring?
I think it's very I want to say guttural, and I don't know how else to describe it. Very like almost Viking-esque. But she does very much get people up, and like she'll be like playing her little ocarina, and getting other people around the tavern or the inn to get up and dance as she is playing. She very much likes some audience participation, and it also sort of ensures that she might get a nice little tip as well. So.
Well, let's see if you managed to do that. So you rolled a 12, so you did a pretty good performance. People got really into your performance, and we will say that you managed to acquire 7 extra gold coins.
Nice.
Someone's like, Barrett's privateers.
Anyway, Odile will go to sleep, rest her weary little head, and then she will wake up the next morning, probably bright and early. And she is sort of set about the town to find her companions. I think she's a little too excited and forgoes like eating or anything like that.
Do you would you know where maybe Leander is, or where some of the others are, or you're
I think she would have asked everyone where they would be staying. I imagine that Leander probably would be maybe staying in like a bar area.
Let's check with Leander. Leander, where is Leander in the morning when he wakes up?
I feel like maybe he went to the inn to like watch Odile play a little bit, but like he's like a loner man, and probably went back to his bed at the night house, which is night house. Is that right?
Yeah, the sort of guild house.
Yeah, the guild house. So at the night house. So, but his bed is like in the corner, like kind of in the drafty area. Like if anybody's cleaning, they like totally skip that corner, and he's just like, it's, you know, there's like a crack in the wall, so he like is kind of cold and stuff like that. But he tries his ever loving best to just sleep in, like foot dangling off of the edge of the bed, kind of face burrowed.
So if you are sleeping at the night house, would you have told Odile that you could be found there?
Yes.
Odile, you arrive at the night house. Miko, if you get a chance to show the night house. The night house is this... First of all, it's the only place in town that's built on land. So there is, near the furthest, the farthest edge of the town, like near, like really out into the water, this kind of promontory of rock and stones that has been built up. It's kind of like a mini island, and there is only one wooden passerelle that goes all the way to it. They're surrounded by boats. You can see guards. There is a wall. It's kind of like a mini fortress that is built out on this little tiny island. When you arrive and approach it, you realize that all the other houses around are kind of built a bit further away from it. There's not a lot of foot traffic on the platforms around it. And there's this strange kind of fog and pall that kind of hangs over this place. And it's made of these dark stones. The wood that makes the wooden part of the palisade is old and kind of darkened by time, covered in snow and ice and rime. And the building itself has all these fires kind of built. There's these huge kind of campfires that are built around the island, around the fortress itself, and you can see more fires burning inside. And it gives you this kind of dark, oppressive feeling almost as you approach this place, and look at the guards that are kind of walking around it.
I think Odile, kind of feeling that oppressive feeling, while she had been sort of walking with purpose and sort of with enthusiasm, once she sort of feels that settle on her shoulders, she'll kind of slow a little bit and almost meekly walk up to the front of this, it's like compound almost, and she'll kind of try to get the attention of one of like the guards.
Yeah, there's a couple that are hanging like at the furthest, like the front of the passerelle, if you will, like where you would embark, and they're sort of leaning there against posts that have little oil lamps attached to them. And one of them sees you come and is like, "Hey there, Missy. What can we do for you?"
I am looking for a person by the name of Leander. He said that he would be here. I know it is early, but...
Oh, and you look at each other. Has Leander stolen something from you? Is that are you here to complain?
Oh no, we are friends. We are on a journey together.
You and Leander?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. He turns his, but yeah, that's kind of interesting. You know, Leander's got that young cat swag to him. I could see him like making friends fairly easily out there. Yeah, but when was the last time you heard about Leander having friends? Well, I don't know. It's the first time for everything. Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Maybe if you gave him a chance, that you would find that he is a very good companion to have.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we could do that, couldn't we? Yeah, I guess we could probably just give him a chance, and then they're kind of both snickering a little bit. You can kind of tell that poor old Leander doesn't seem to have a lot of respect coming his way from the rest of the people here. But one of them eventually says, "Yeah, I'm sorry, miss. I can't allow you to come in here, but I'll go and see if Leander is awoken."
I will wait right here.
Leander, you feel someone approaching you, like even in your kind of half asleep kind of state, you feel that someone is approaching your bunk. Someone is approaching where you're sleeping. You okay there?
Yep. Hey, what's up? Good morning.
It's kind of cold in this corner. You should really patch up that hole.
Yeah, I put in a request several times for this hole to be patched. But,
request.
Tenant requests, I guess, just fall short here. Anyway,
it's always
what do you
best
want?
to, take matters into your own hands.
What's up? Are you bringing me coffee?
No, but there's an elf outside with really, really blue eyes who's here to see you. Did you rob her?
No.
We're not supposed to rob tourists.
I didn't rob her.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, she's outside and she seems really angry.
Oh, dang it. I thought we were friends. Come on. And I stand up and I pull my pants on over my boxers that I slept in and just start getting my gear on. I'm like, God, ow, man.
She's waiting outside. It's cold. Don't make her wait too long.
Yeah, I know. Sheesh. I put on all my gear and I check myself in a looking glass, fixing my eyebrows and wiping it to sleep.
You have this one whisker you noticed has turned completely white.
That's odd.
It kind of stands out really starkly against the darker fur of your face.
But that's distinguished, right? I grip it with my little claw and just go beep. Try and pull it out. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, cool. And I go to the front door.
On the way out, I would assume you grab something to eat from the kitchens.
Yeah, just like a hunk of bread and cheese, and I'm just like...
Odile, you see your friend coming up along the plank towards you, chewing on some giant chunk of...
Leander, it is so good to see you. Good morning.
Hey,
good morning.
buddy. Hey, good morning. Listen, are you mad at me?
No, why would I be mad at you? Did you do something?
Oh, man. No.
Were they being mean to you again?
No, I mean, it's just joking, right?
Are the guards still like standing there?
Yeah, the two of them are there and they're kind of snickering to each other.
I'm going to like give them like a evil eye.
Go, don't. That just encourages them. Do you want some cheese?
One of them
Yes.
kind of leans to the other and starts to whisper a little bit, and they just kind of stare at the two of you.
I like glance over my shoulder and like, just ignore him. It's not a big deal.
I think we should give them wedgies. And Odile's going to take the hunk of cheese and bite down on it.
Yeah, wedgie sounds like a good plan. What are you up to? What are you doing? Forget those guys. Let's walk. Let's just get out of here. You know.
Yes, it is cold. Oof.
Where are you going to be heading to?
Probably the forge.
Yeah. See where Tana is.
Okay, I'll give you a moment to RP after we come back. I just want to bring the other ones, the other guys, into the situation. Adrian, where does Jinandriel lay his head?
He has found a kind of a withered tall tree, and he usually spends his nights. I think at this particular moment, he's probably hanging somewhat almost upside down, as he is kind of in a pseudo meditative stance, hanging from his feet from one of the branches of the trees, as he slowly opens his eyes to see the sunrise. He chooses a tall tree. That's where the birds like to meet him. And as he's hanging upside down, looking at the sunrise upside down, the birds come around the trees and kind of tell him the morning news. And as he opens his eyes, he looks at the leaves on the snow below. And as he focuses, depending on where the leaves land, is where he determines where to use his farsight. And since he has been in this town for several months, he has walked in front of, posing as a beggar, every building of this town. And depending on how the leaves fall, he determines what is the best building to kind of survey. And at that point, he will come from his inner peace kind of meditative state and then open his eyes and cast farsight to listen in to a particular building and kind of do some surveillance in the morning. So he's listening to the birds, seeing what's going on, saying the news of the evening, the news of the day, looking at the leaves and determining which building to spy on.
All right. Can you read up Farsight to me and tell me what it does?
Sure. Farsight. This spell lets you see and hear what is happening in a place up to 1 kilometer away, as if you were there in person. You must either have the place in sight or have visited it previously. And you could increase the rank, which increases the rank, the range, and the duration is concentration.
Excellent. You look at the leaves and the pattern that they've developed as they fall down to the ground, and what these seem to indicate to you, they've fallen in this pattern. There's a bunch of them that have kind of fallen kind of in a row, and then in the center, a bunch of them have kind of fallen in a way that makes kind of like a bit of a spire. And from that, you decide to take a look at Errol's Tower, where you were last night, where you fought the Chaos Demons, just to see sort of what's happening. And as you take a look and move in, you see a shadow moving you see someone in the office area that where you fought the demons. Remember, there's kind of this office area that opened up onto a big balcony, and that's where you fought those demons. But back where the office area was, where Errol had all his books and his desk and all these things, you see a shadow moving, and there's this strange thing where you can't really see the person. You can definitely see a tall, kind of lanky figure, and you see, and it's kind of like you're seeing a shadow of a person rather than the person, as if they're using some kind of magic to obscure themselves, and you're kind of just seeing the outline of them. But it's very clear that as they move with stealth and with kind of the cunning and precision of a thief, you can see a pair of horns on their head, and they're riffling through the desk, through the papers, going through the books. They seem to be getting a little frustrated that they're not finding what they're looking for.
He's going to focus more on listening, see if whatever creature this is mutters anything in frustration under their breath or in exasperation.
As you listen in, give me 1 second. As you listen in, you hear, come on, come on, come on. It's gotta be here somewhere. I knew those two fucking idiots were gonna screw this up. Where would you be? Where would you be here now? Well, this is not good. This is not good. Misael's not gonna be happy. I wonder, what is this? And the figure crouches down, touches some blood that has been spilled on the ground, brings it up, smells it, and goes, well, that's interesting. Why the hell would there be a swan here? The figure licks the blood. Well, let's go and find you, shall we? Maybe you took it. And with that, the figure turns, runs off to the parapet, and launches itself off. And as they leave the building, you lose sight of them.
As I lose sight, I'm actually surprised and by the fact that I have fallen from the tree. I was like, oh, maybe I think, oh, and then suddenly I find myself on the snow, like, oh.
There are several birds on you.
Oh no. I'm going to kind of look at the birds and, try to communicate in a way of like, big bird, bigger bird.
Well, one of them has like a little white worm that's squirming on the end of its beak, and it keeps trying to feed it to you.
I will. Okay, I'll eat the worm. And
good protein.
Yes, of course. Gotta keep energy. And I was like, no, big bird. Help me find the big bird.
They look at you like you're nuts.
Yeah, typical. All right, well, I will stand up and I will get what meager gear I have, and quest must find our not so feathered friend. Gotta find the bard. And
who's got the dagger, by the way?
I think I did I keep it, or did he? I don't
still
remember.
have it.
Oh, I guess I do have it.
Okay. So you will head off and try to find.
Yes, I will try to find our bard friend, and the best way to find a bard is to not use your eyes. So I will listen.
Excellent.
Listen.
Tana, you wake up to the sound of metal being hammered. Ting, 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 ting. Ting, 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 ting. Ting, 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 ting. Ting, 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 ting. Ah, fucking damn it.
Wiggles.
Yeah, boss.
Follow through with your strikes.
I'm trying, boss. That's what I'm trying to do. But, you know, this thing's heavy.
Are you still working on the two-hander?
Yeah. Why would someone want something this big anyways? Like, what do you know, it's not like you can wear this. You can't smuggle this anywhere. You can't put this under your cloak and hide it, and then, you know, at the last second when you know, spring it behind someone and stab them in the back and assassinate them or anything like. Not that I know anything about that stuff, but I'm just saying that if you were wanting to do that, this would be a very impractical weapon to do that with.
Wiggles.
Yeah, boss. Why are you sleeping in the fort, boss?
It's been... To say it's been an evening or night would be grossly underselling what happened.
You look like you got trounced.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, I did my best. I don't know. We were doing all right. And then these things came out of nowhere and they attacked us, and fire and lots more fire and acid. It was bad. I was just trying to find out about... You know what? Come to the anvil and sort of walk over, grab a hammer, like heat up the metal, and one solid dink, dink, and like the rhythmic beating on the blade. Set your rhythm. Follow through. No extra taps.
Yeah, no, I can't do that, boss.
Oh, I believe in you. You can do it, and also you have to.
It's not that I can't do it physically. I can do it physically. It's just that it bores the hell out of me. I kind of like, I got to make up songs in my head, and then I kind of got to like beat to them, or I get really bored really quickly.
Yeah, that's the point. You make up a song. Like it's...
Yeah, but the songs in my head, they don't like just do the same thing over and 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 over again. They move, they swing, they dance, they change, they, you know, at some moment you're going fast and it's like this rapid beat, and then all of a sudden you're slowing it down and you're like, you know, going into this more kind of languorous sort of, feeling it all the way down inside of you, all the way to your toes, and all of a sudden, you're picking it up again and you're dancing, and, you know, your little tushy's going left. Well, you don't have a little tushy, you got a big bushy tail, but, you know, that thing's just swinging back and forth, and like, you know, don't you have music in your head, boss?
Constantly.
But it's just dong, dong. That's the music in your head? Like, that sounds boring, boss.
You do not hear the music of the blade clearly. If you hit, dink, the outer edge of the blade, hear that high, tinny sound. Dink, 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 dink.
Yeah, that's boring, now, boss. You gotta put a little bit of like...
Now you need a little bass, so you hit more towards the center. Dunk, 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 dunk. Then you could travel along the blade. Dunk, 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 ding, 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 dunk, 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 dunk.
Oh, that's awesome, boss.
There's music in these. There's a story in each of these. There's life in each of these.
Yeah, I see it, boss. I mean, I hear it, boss.
You follow through. You put your heart into making these blades. That's what it means to be a forward master.
Right. Put your heart into it, not your tushy. I get it.
Right. Now, that whole thing about you trying to conceal a blade and trying to stab someone. That was weird. We're gonna have to talk about that.
That was just a random example that came to me out of nowhere.
Wiggles.
Yeah, boss.
Wiggles.
Yeah, boss. What? I got work to do. I made you some coffee and some bacon and eggs over there. Just go and stuff your face and leave me
How
to...
many times have I told you tea in the morning, coffee at noon?
Boss, that's just crazy talk, boss. Look, you know a lot about a lot of things, and I'm very happy to learn from you, but this tea and coffee business, you're just wrong, and you're just going to have to accept you're wrong, and you're just going to have to learn to do it the right way, which is coffee in the morning. So go over there, get your coffee and the bacon, get the eggs, and oh, hey, and she waves. It's the cute elven lady and that weird cat guy.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Good morning.
I brought you a hunk of bread. It's half-eaten.
Did you?
Oh, we're good.
Did you eat that bread already?
I mean, I nibbled it. I brought it from the house.
If you want some cheese instead, then Odile will hold out also a half-nibbled piece of cheese.
Did you also eat that?
Yes, but the saliva adds flavor.
It is the thought that counts. So appreciated.
I pulled it out.
Yes. Thank you. Hold on. And I pull up in a drawer and pull out it looks like a little satchel. It's about probably 1.5 feet, 2 feet long. And I just unroll it and pull out it's just a set of knives. And so pull out a bread knife and then just cut the bread into nice even strokes. Wipe that off, put that back, get out it's a really fancy curved cheese knife and cut the cheese into slices. Then put them on just the cheese on the bread and some of the eggs and just all about presentation.
Leander, you almost jump out of your skin as Loretta's voice comes from right behind you and says, he's got a knife.
Jeepers, criminy! What?
He's got a knife for everything.
Can
It's
you
like a
not?
knife guy.
Can you not do that? Can you not do that? That I thought that voice was coming from my butt. You are so small compared to me.
That's rude.
You are butt
Don't
height.
scare me, man.
I am. So what if I'm butt height?
That's not it's not an issue that you're butt height. You I can't see you. I'm a lot of cat.
But I talked so you knew that I was there. I said he's got a knife for everything.
Yeah, and that was really scary.
Oh, grow up.
Okay, fine.
Walks off. She comes over to you, Mary. Can I ask you a favor? Yes, you.
I scooch down a little. Yeah.
I'm trying to show boss something. Could you play a little something that's got a little bit of swing in it? Like a little bit of something with a little bit of, hey, how you doing? You want to come over and hang out kind of thing? Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Can you do that? Yeah.
She'll take out her little ocarina and start slow. It's like a slow crescendo.
As you start playing, she kind of goes over whistling as if she's not doing anything, and then all of a sudden she's got the hammer, and then she goes over to the melody. Then she starts hammering, but she's playing to the sound and the beat of the music that Odile is playing, and it's just this kind of mellifluous little, symphony of these sounds that are kind of moving and twirling around each other. And as you are walking through the city, Adrian, your ears perk as you hear the unmistakable sound of an ocarina being played in tandem with, is that steel beating on steel? And strange. It's different. You've never heard it that way. It shouldn't work, but somehow it works. You're reminded of this ancient, well-known elvish bardic group that used to play this very kind of heavy driving music, and then there was a flute player at the front who played the flute over all of it, and it was this strange mix, but it worked. They were called Tethro Joel or something like that.
Muted, Adrian.
Still muted. You're still muted.
You're muted, Adrian.
Sorry, my button's not working.
All of it.
He's slowly dying in the inside, or that might be me. And we'll walk towards the music, towards the forge, and we'll very abruptly stick his head in, smiling ever so to hear this music, as if this was almost foretold, and kind of jiving to it, and just like really kind of following the beats, and can smell the food. So he's along for the ride.
Bill's going to wave with one hand as she's still playing with the other and kind of dancing around.
I lean into Tana and just say, isn't the blade more likely to crack if you like go on the, like if you're hammering it intermittently and then you like chill out and you're like doing chill out hand and then you hammer, you know, like I feel like this pacing is probably not great. I don't know much about steel except for like how to stabby, but
so yes. Now, the music, great. Rhythm, awesome.
we love it.
The way in which the blade is being struck to create the sounds, not so much. So and watch, just hold, and Tana will go over and just put a hand on Wiggle's head. Watch. Does not tell Odile to stop playing. Just keep playing. Puts a long sword into the forge, and as like the flames, whoosh, like they sort of roar to life a little bit louder than you would think they would. So it sort of pushes your hair back a little bit. And as he pulls out the sword, he nods at Odile playing, and then strikes in rhythm, but is clearly hammering out the blade. So not so much to get it into shape, a full shape, but it's hammering it out so you hear the different incremental beats of dink, 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 doom, 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 dink, dink. And it's like clearly making the song way better than it would have been before, but clearly doing it with not just musicality, but function. And then stops and goes, better. Okay, better.
Boring,
really cool.
Not boring.
Sellable, not sellable.
Not. You can't mix art and commerce, right, Odile? You can't mix art and art has to be stand on its own. Like the second you start mixing art and commerce, it goes out the fucking window.
You can 100%.
I mean, I play for money, so
Yeah, like
I need to make a
this
list.
is an art form. Like that's an art form. We have to sell this.
Oh my God, y'all are heathens. No wonder y'all got beat up last night. Jeez Louise.
Beat up?
What do you mean? What are you talking about? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I said we got beat up.
I got work to do. Sort yourselves out. Philistines. And she goes in the back.
Did you just call something? Did you just go? I think she's an assassin. I think she's a murderer.
No, I was going to say that someone who made such beautiful music could not possibly be a evil murderer who has killed at least dozens. However,
she just called you a philanthropist. You don't think that's a little evil?
no, I was going to say, however, due to that comment she just made, I am back on the murderer bandwagon.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of murdering bandwagons, Odile, I don't know how to put this. I do believe that there is a demon or some sort of a devilish type creature that is currently seeking you out. I have been spying on where we had our battle the following evening, and I believe a creature is seeking you out, possibly because of, and we will pull out the knife. I think that we have company, and they are searching for you in particular, Odile. So I wanted to come and warn you.
What do I mean particular, though?
I do not know.
I don't, you're the one in possession of the knife. I'm just standing here.
That is true. I don't believe that they know that I am in possession of the knife. I think they believe that you possess the knife.
Why would they believe that?
There may have been some clue left behind from the previous battle. Did you lose any kind of garments or any kind of clothes or a feather or some kind of trinkets or something that they
Bill's
may...
gonna like pat herself and be like, no, I don't. No, I mean,
perhaps they were able to hear your song and were lured to it. I do not know.
Trials and tribulations of a beautiful and talented bard, you know?
Well, so I wanted to warn you to make sure that you are safe and that you have protection until this kind of, I know that bards, in order to make their money, they are kind of out in the open and they're singing their songs, just to kind of keep a keen eye and keep your friends close, because we are
so
being
you guys
watched.
are going to stay with me then, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're like a micro celebrity, so you probably need some protection.
Well, yes. I mean, if you were to get injured by something that I possess, I would feel somewhat guilty. So I will
consider myself more of a macro celebrity, but potato.
Well, to the demon, you're definitely a celebrity because they're seeking you out. They want your autograph.
So what do we know about this demon? Like, what were their vibes?
The vibes, they seem very frustrated. They seem to have known, at least were aware of the two that we slayed. So some in league with those other gnarly beings.
I mean, we could ask. I mean, we could lure them. I mean, they are already coming to us. Maybe we could ask them a questions that we have regarding a demon that we are seeking.
That's true. We could actually just lay in wait, and it's better to be prepared and know that they're coming than be surprised. So,
do you think that they might try and, I don't know, kill us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna not do this in my shop.
But wouldn't it the home advantage, knowing that you know everything about this place? Wouldn't this be the best place to have a combat?
Yes, in the fact that I know this place, none of you know this place. Also, lots of blades around, so if they happen to get to a place where there are blades, would be bad. Also, remember the demons we fought last night? Lots of fire.
And lots of, like, acid blood?
Yeah.
That was pretty gnarly.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe I mean, we bled there.
Oh, that's right. They did. There was when I was surveilling, I did see the shadow of the demon taste blood. So it must have been your sweet blood. I think it was mentioned sweet. There was a sweetness to your blood. I haven't tasted it, but it's
Leander. As he mentions this, Leander, you are aware that there are specially trained assassins at the Night House who learn to track their prey through the taste or scent of their blood. once they have the taste of their prey's blood, they can find them almost anywhere, anytime, and never lose their trail.
So,
Uh-oh.
Tana, how secure is this place? Like, maybe we should all. I think maybe we should all go talk in private.
Oh no. I go and close the shop for like back in 20 minutes. Just close the.
I'm sorry. And I like keep peering through the windows, like kind of just like going around and frantically checking. And I go,
immediately grab the back of your jacket. Come with me.
Okay. No, they gotta come too. They gotta come on.
Oh. Right.
And there is it's really just a small office right off of the forge. Like the forge is here, and then there's a small office right there. Besides whatever's in the back, that's off limits. You guys can't go there. But the office is a little bit more secure. I leave the door open so I can see the door if anyone comes in.
Is Wiggles in here?
You look around and you see that she's sitting in a corner. You hadn't seen her until now.
She's
Sitting in a corner.
butt height.
She's got like a leather apron on her knees. She's sitting on a little chair and she's fixing the leather apron. And as you walk in, she's looking at all of you and she's holding that needle.
Why is she so threatening?
Everything okay, guys?
Yeah, we just need to have like a really private conversation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't mind me. I'll just, go from the room where I was alone doing some work and go into the room that all of you were in that you've just vacated to come into this one. Yeah, no worries at all. It's perfectly fine, guys.
Let's practice some forging. Try a new beat.
Tana, I think you got to start paying her a little bit more. Sorry.
As she walks out and closes the door behind her, she's like, it's enough to start killing. Make you want to start killing people. Jesus. Closes the door.
Shit. Okay, that's not why we're here. It's not why we're here.
This is the villain origin story right here.
Honestly, it runs in the forge, not gonna lie.
Listen, I don't want to inconvenience y'all, but like, I just have some information that I think would be really essential for you all to have. So, I work for this organization known as the Night House. Some of you probably have heard of it. And we definitely have some members in there who have this innate ability to taste things, and then that's how they track people, and they can never not be able to track you unless they die. So
do you have this ability?
Do I have this ability?
Do you?
Do I have this weenies?
Is it written on your character sheet?
No, I don't.
No, you don't have that ability.
I don't have
this is like something that they teach. You're like entry level. This is something they teach like regional managers.
I just graduated from internship into first year resident.
But doesn't mean that these guys need to know that.
Well, listen, I myself do not have this prowess of dipping my fingers into someone's blood and being able to track them, but I do know that people in my vocation do know how to do that. So we must be on like super high alert because these guys are stealthy. Whoo.
Do you know how to counter this ability? Like, did they tell you like wrap yourself in like onions or garlic or some kind of like counter?
Wrap myself in onions.
I mean, maybe like don't
like excrement?
bleed everywhere.
I think that's a little too late for that.
Yeah, you remember also that Odile bled because you had hit that creature and the acid blood had splashed all over her.
Odile, I just wanted to tell you that I'm really sorry about that thing that happened. I hope that you're okay. Also, listen, Jen, I think I owe you all an apology because I just went in kind of like blade swinging on that, and I just didn't know what else to do. So I'm sorry.
Should like a window in here?
Yeah.
We sealed off the premises.
I'm at the window, just looking out it, like kneeled down in front of it, just the tip of my head peering out.
Go ahead and give me an awareness check.
Can I use a boon on that?
Sure.
Better. 9.
For the record, I'm a huge proponent of people using boons before they roll and not after.
You could just be nice to me, Papa.
I was right there. I let you redo it. What did you get?
9.
And your awareness is?
12.
You look outside. You don't see anything that's setting off any alarms. Oh, wait. Did that person just... Is that someone who just pulled their head back from around the corner in the alley? No.
I'm gonna reach out blindly and I probably grab someone's tail and give it a tug.
Which one?
I don't know, it's blindly.
Excuse you?
There's someone in the alleyway.
Oh, no.
Keeper, would I know anything else about that, ability, of the tracing ability or, the shadow capability or anything else about this that, I could give any other insight into?
Go ahead and, let's say, give me a myths and legends roll.
Oh, jeepers Louises. That's gonna go real well. It did not. I got a 10 on a 6.
Yeah, no, you know that these are really high level abilities and powers that are taught only to the most adept of the members of the Night House. You know that there's probably, you would say, a handful of people throughout all the free cities that would have those abilities. So you're thinking, really dangerous.
Jen's gonna go look out the window as well.
As you look out the window, you do notice that occasionally from across the street, there appears to be a head that kind of dips around and then kind of pulls back. And as you're all kind of standing there, let me see if they spot you.
You see that?
I saw that.
After I just got a demon, and it's great because Miko, who's always so very kind, gave me last year when we met at Gen Con a D20, and it's great because it's this gray, but it's got this swirling darkness inside, so it's really like me. And when you roll a 20, it says fuck you, and when you roll a 1, it says fuck me. And usually when I see fuck me, I'm displeased, but now because this is Dragonbane, I saw the fuck me, and I'm really happy about it because it means it's a demon. And you see that head kind of peer out just as you kind of come up to the window and look out, and immediately you see it pull back and you don't see it again.
I'm gonna join in to the peering.
So Tana, you got all 3 of them kind of stacked in your window looking out, and they're breathing, all 3 of them, so it's really fogging up the window and you can barely see anything.
I take my hand and I wipe it away a little and I
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All you guys, you gotta be better.
I smear my nose a little bit on it just to see.
Oh my
Jen will open the window.
Hey.
This rush of cold air comes into the room, sending shivers down your backs.
Now, everyone, place your arm outside the window, and he will do it.
Odile will. Okay, she'll do it.
Doing the bird song, seeing if the birds give us a boon gives me a boon to awareness.
Okay.
Just to kind of see if there's any chirping going on, like if they're kind of like freaking out, like get out of the house, or like.
No, they're not. They're very calm.
Oh. So we'll just stand there with birds on our arms for a moment, and just kind of listening to the chirps. And then
the birds come in and they land on your arm, and then a second later they fly over to Odile, and by the end of it you have no birds on your arms, and there's about like 12 birds on Odile. And it's kind of like that scene in Snow White where she's singing and moving around, and all the birds are like that's kind of like that, where she's got all these birds and they're all kind of all over her, and they're chirping, and they're like, you know, kind of pecking at her, and, you know, kind of rubbing their head on her, and she's just birds. She's wearing birds right now.
Is it like in admiration, or is it in
it's like, you know,
effectiveness? Okay.
Yeah, it's very
kind of like, I've never seen that before, so I'm just kind of like, whoa.
So you all went to the window where the possible assassin was probably going to spy on us and possibly shoot something through the window. Opened it, blatantly put your heads and hands out, and now there are a bunch of birds actively making noise to pinpoint your location. Is that what we're doing right now?
As soon as he says that, Leander runs for the door and opens it just a crack to peer out at Loretta.
As you do that, you see Loretta maybe about 10 feet away from the door. She's got a dagger in her hand, and she stops when she sees you. Can I help you with something?
Nope, as you were, and I close the door.
Y'all just go around opening random door. You don't even. Okay, we need a better strategy than this.
What are we doing wrong? I figured if we find who's targeting us and we target them first.
Mm-hmm. Typically, that would be done by being stealthy and getting eyes. Good general idea. You got eyes. Did you see them?
Yeah, they were like down there. I saw someone peeking their head across the street.
Okay. Typically, it's not followed by 3 other heads going against the...
As these guys are discussing the finer points of observation, Leander, a thought creeps into your head. You left your father last night in a care of some healers after he had almost died, burned to a crisp.
Oh shit, guys, I gotta go check on my dad. I'm sorry, I gotta go. And I just open the door again, and I like look at Loretta and pause for a second.
She's sitting further away, and she's sharpening the knife.
See you later. And I walk out the front of the forge.
Have a wonderful day.
Should we go with him?
Should we let her? Should we let him go alone?
No. Let's go.
What do I do with these birds?
Oh, the birds, they'll leave on their own.
They'll keep.
I'll just start walking with the birds on me. Actually, I'll climb out the window.
As you climb out the window, the birds kind of all take off.
I didn't want to get bird poop in your forge.
Quite an exit. I'll also go out the window.
We have forgotten how to use doors. Great.
Just trying to be considerate.
Loretta. Work on your technique. We have 2 customers coming in. 1 and 3. We'll be fine.
Gotcha, boss. I gotcha.
Where did you get that particular blade, though?
What blade?
And I get real close. Like, if you were watching anything else, it would be Big Bad Wolf over Little Red Riding Hood close. Are there other blades in my forge?
I don't know what you're talking about, boss.
Keep it that
course, boss.
Now, you know what to sell. Excuse me.
Sell weapons. See, boss.
And I will go follow.
As the lot of you head out and head towards the Guild of the Wheel, which is the healers' house where people, it's not the Guild of the Wheel, am I saying? I'll have to get back to you on exactly the name of the house. I can't find it right now. You head out there to the healers' place of the healers. You arrive, Leander, out of breath and, kind of huffing and puffing a little bit. And as you walk in, one of the healers there looks up and sees you and goes, "Oh, are you here for Mr. Astarius?"
Yeah, my dad, Errol. He's my dad. Can I see him?
Absolutely. He's been awake for a few hours now. He's been asking about you.
Oh yeah, I had to check in with my buddies, make sure that they were okay too. So I just want to come through. Is it visiting hours? Is it all right?
Oh yeah, you can go in. You can talk to him.
Okay, thanks. And I just kind of like rush past.
You rush past. The lot of you will arrive, a few minutes after that. You walk into the room. You see your father lying there. He seems to be doing a little bit better. He's propped up on some pillows and he's got a bit more color to him, and he's still got some bandages and whatnot, but definitely looks like he's doing a little bit better. He's like, oh, Leander, Lily, please come and sit.
Yeah. Hey, hi,
with me.
Dad. Hey, good morning. Good morning.
I was worried about you when I woke up and you weren't here, and I was I was hoping that you were okay. Frightful night.
I'm okay. I got a little singed whiskers, but I'm good. It was a frightful night. How are you feeling?
Much better. I don't know. The arm's still pretty useless, and well, I have a bit of a fright in me, but I'm much better. I guess I owe you all some thanks. Your friends are here also.
They wanted to come say hi.
That's quite all right. Please come in. I was just telling Lily that I owe you all a debt of gratitude for being there and saving my hide last night. I'm afraid that had you not been there, I would have been done for.
Yeah.
How are the lot of you? Is everyone okay? Anybody else hurt?
We are fine.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to. I unfortunately don't have any good port to offer you or anything like that.
No, it's okay, Dad. I'm assuming I see like a nurse or something walking towards us, and I like see a tray of soup, and I just take it from her, and I like walk over to my dad and just start eating him soup.
It's like the gall. She walks off. He's like, that's very kind of you. Thank you, Lily. And he
just big cat paws, like trying to very daintily.
Leaving.
Thank you.
Allow me to assist. And he will kind of turn and just look at the room in general, and he will do considered a magic trick, and it's just called clean. And the room you're in is cleaned. All dust, dirt disappeared. The room is put in perfect order. So just like.
I don't know if Adrian is frozen for anybody else, but we can still hear you, Adrian. But you are frozen. Your video is frozen, but we can still hear you. No problem. You do this, and well, he's gone. He does this, and the room becomes miraculously very nice and clean and ordered. So that's successful, Adrian. You call upon the ancient powers that you know, and hey, Razmataz, thank you so much for the raid. We greatly appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. We are playing some Dragonbane action here, a little fantasy from Free League. We love ourselves some Free League down here. We stand the Free League. Thank you for coming in. We greatly appreciate it. Hey, Phantom NJ, how you doing, man? Hope everyone's doing good. The players, the characters are visiting the father of Leander, who was injured by a bunch of chaos demons when they fought them last night. I am Bleen. Call me Bleen. Bleen season. Nice to see you, Rob. you give him some soup. You clean the room. Hey, Jay, what's up? Thanks for coming in with the group, Jay. Lord Gasumba, we're going to be participating 2 weeks from now in the Greyhawk Virtual Con, and we're going to be hosting a game here on Saturday night, the 5th of October. It'll be myself, Myriad, Miko, a couple of other players who are going to be playing, and we're going to be following Jay's mainstream that night. So come on out and check out all the wonderful streams that are going on for that weekend, Greyhawk Virtual Weekend. That's happening all of that weekend around the 5th of October. So I guess it starts on the 4th or 3rd of October. Check it out online. You can sign up for games. There's tons of great games, all in honor of the original setting of D&D, Greyhawk. Thanks so much, Lord Gasumba, for coming in, and do check out Lord Gasumba's channel if you like old school miniatures, old school D&D with a lot of miniature work. Great guests. Lord Gasumba knows everyone, and he's always got really awesome special guests on. I had a chance at some point last year to play with some really special people over there. So check it out. It's always a lot of fun. Ed Greenwood I played with. It was it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Jay, for coming in, and everybody else. So getting back to hey, Phoenix. Wow, everyone's coming in. What's up, Phoenix? How you doing, mate? All right. Yes, you clean the room, you feed your father, and as you are taking stock of the situation, he's like, I guess I owe you a bit of an explanation.
Yeah, Dad, what the heck, man?
I always knew there was a possibility that the past would come to haunt me, but I certainly didn't expect to involve so many people, especially so many of you. You seem like very nice people, but I don't think most of you have ever met before. I know Tana, of course. Tana, we've had occasion to meet several times before, but I'm very sorry you got dragged into this, all of you. I deeply apologize. As far as I can tell, I believe this may have something to do with a pilgrimage that I took some years ago to the 7 Spires. Anyone who studies demonology and the history of the war between the dragons and the demons eventually wants to make this pilgrimage to the 7 Spires. It is, they are the most ancient relics in the world and still connected to that time of strife. I was searching for information on how to free the love of my life. Her name is Saraxa. She is a demon. She's in bondage to a group called the Nightkin. The Nightkin are a shadowy cabal of demons who hid at the end of the war with the dragons, and they've been operating in secret since then, attempting to discover the last remaining portal to their old homeworld. Whether to reopen it to invite more demons or to take themselves away from this world, do not know. My trip took 3 years, and I made a lot of interesting discoveries in that time. I've discovered that the Nightkin are somehow connected to the Night House and Leander, that is. That is why I've always been a little concerned about your adherence to that group. It is unclear what this connection is, but the Night House holds deep and dark mysteries behind even its front as a thieves' guild. They have a very, very ancient, very dark history that somehow connects to the Nightkin and the demons of old. And I'm very sorry, Leander, that I never told you about your mother. You see, Saraxa, I met her while researching the 7 Spires. She came to me as an assistant. She came as an elf. I did not know she was a demon at first. I believe she was sent to spy on me by the Nightkin because they believed that I might have information concerning the portal that they look for. In about the span of 1 year, Saraxa and I began getting closer and closer to each other until, well, there was but one night of passion between us.
I don't need details on the night of passion, Dad. Thank you so much.
I understand. I wasn't going to give you any.
No, you sound like, I know what you sound like when you're about to tell a weird story, so please, these are new. I lean in and I go, these are new friends, and I'd really like to keep them around. Thank you.
Yes, my son, I'm very sorry. Well, in any case, after that one night consummation of our affair, Saraxa decided that she could no longer do a master's bidding and told me who she was and why she was here and why she was sent here. And she left, no doubt, to face some terrible consequences for her actions. And about a year later, Leander was delivered to my doorstep by a strange figure. A minotaur who had come from the Vermeil Mountains to the southwest. Her name is Beata Skullsinger. She said Leander was my son. I took Leander in and raised him as best I could, and I'm sorry that I kept part of your heritage hidden from you, but I was hoping it would never become something we need to discuss.
Well, Dad, I hate to be that guy, but I do have massive friggin' horns, so I think it was probably going to be a point of discussion at some point or other.
Perhaps someday, Leander, you will have children of your own, and you will understand why hope of something better for them often makes us make decisions that are perhaps not the best. Our vision sometimes is obscured by our desire to see the best outcome for our offspring. I did not mean to deceive you. I simply kept hoping I wouldn't need to tell you the truth. And it's my fault, of course. I understand that.
Dad? Is my mom a bad person? Like, is she evil?
No. If I've learned anything from knowing your mother and knowing you, is that there's no such thing as inherent evil in anyone, and I've come to believe in the times of studying them that the demons who came here were not evil as we believed them to have been. They were afraid of something dark and sinister that made their world inhabitable and made coming here and facing the wrath of dragons seemed worth the chance. I think the demons were made evil over time by our insistence that they were, our failure to understand them. That is what my work centers around. I've been trying to prove that hypothesis and gather as much information and knowledge as I can about this, but...
You see Leander, like, stroking the broken horn.
Your dad reaches out and takes your paw in his paw. Leander, I only saw Beata once more, on the eve of your 16th birthday. She came to deliver a message. The message said simply, there is an 8th spire. There was indications that I should pursue my research into them, try to discover this 8th spire. It said that one of the missing enlightenments of the Order of Sevens, the 4 Winds it is called, was hidden there. The 4 Winds, it is said, allowed the ancient elven sorcerers who used it to travel to other worlds. She brought this, and he reaches under his jacket and he pulls out a locket and pulls it over his head, and he places it in your hand. A token from Saraxa, when you take the locket and you open it, you see a curl of hair held together by a red ribbon, a curl of hair of black and amber and red drop out of it. On the other side, there is this blue rune that is inscribed inside the medallion. As you hold this locket, Leander, and feel the brush of your mother's hair on your paw, you see an image loom before you. You see a dark tower rising up into the sky. You see a large full moon lurking behind it. There is a window at the top of this tower, and a amber light shines deep within it. Odile, Tana, and Jinandriel, as Leander grasps the locket, you see the hair fall out of it, fall into his paw. You see Leander's eyes go wide, and he crumples to the ground, falls down right onto the floor, the locket falling out of his hands, the hair scattering all over. What do you do?
I rushed to make sure Leander's okay. Like, just sort of, typically I would grab them roughly if they were in my store, but sort of like put the hand behind their back so that they don't hurt themselves if they fall. Kid.
Anybody else doing anything?
Odile's gonna pick up the locket.
And Jin is used to capturing leaves, so Jin will very briskly try to snatch the hair and just whisk them.
You manage to do so. You grab them all, and the little red ribbon that was falling to the ground, you pick it up, and you very deftly attach them back together.
Presumably I'm unconscious.
You start coming to. You see Tana's face looking down at you with concern.
Kid.
Yep. Yep.
Not the best look. Come on.
Okay. Yeah.
You're right, my son.
Yep, just a little lightheaded, I guess. Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Good question. Head. Really put a pot on my face. I think I saw the 8th spire. It was really dark, deep night, and there was a huge full moon and this really big tower, and there was a window at the top of the tower, and it had this amber light.
No.
And then
No, that is not the 8th spire.
What is it then?
A place called the Moon Tower. It is where the demon Misael Miserator keeps Syraxa. He is her master and her jailer. He will have sent the chaos demons after me last night.
In the vision that I saw, that shadow, the demon that was looking after the combat mentioned that name. Misael. Frustrated and said their name under their breath.
I'm so sorry to have brought this darkness into your lives.
No.
Misael is one of the oldest and most powerful demons of the Nightkin. And now he has taken notice of all of you. I've doomed everybody. I'm so sorry.
No, Dad, it's okay. It's okay. Maybe we could head them off. Maybe we go to the Moon Tower and stop it where its origins are. or something.
Don't know how to find the moon tower. The only person who has had contact with your mother in the years has been the Minotaur, Beata. And to answer your unspoken question, Master Jinandriel, the 8th spire where one of the missing enlightenments of your order is hidden is not a place.
That makes sense. If I may ask, you mentioned that you've done a lot of research. Do you have any of your research still in writing? I would like to be a student of your teachings. Perhaps I may gather some insight.
You may find some scraps here and there left in the office, but all the things of import I've hidden away securely.
In your mind?
No, my mind is a sieve. I've hidden it in the most secure place I could think of. The night house.
In the night house?
Over the years, I've given Leander little care packages that I know he doesn't open. Most of my research, most important parts are hidden throughout the various books that I've sent him that I know he doesn't read.
No, I mean, I have them. I just, I got a really long to be read list, so.
I know, Leander. I knew you would keep them safe. I knew you would never give them away or lose them. I knew they would be meaningful to you, but I also knew you would not open them. And so they are hidden there.
Well, at least we have a way in.
If you'll excuse me, I think I've overexerted myself. I'm feeling a little weak right now. I would like to rest. Promise me you'll return. Promise me you'll return to see me.
Oh, yeah, of course, Dad. No problem at all. We'll be here.
He takes your hand, Leander.
Yeah.
I don't know what's become of your mother. Whether she's alive or dead. The demon who is her jailer is a wicked, wicked creature. And not one to be taken lightly. But whether she still lives or not, your mother lives on in you. And she was not a bad person. And neither are you. It is up to us to decide whether we are good or bad. And perhaps your choices have been a little muddled in the recent years. But I know that some of that is my fault. I've not shown you the care and attention that perhaps I should have, but you have it in you to make the decisions to be the way you want to be. Your friends here, I'm sure, all good people, will help you. I'm proud of you, my son. And I love you very much.
No,
Pulls you into
too,
a hug.
Dad. You're a great dad. You're the best dad. You didn't do anything wrong.
I'm pretty shoddy as dads go, but
I'd say you're top notch. And I wipe a really snotty snout, and I try and turn away from my friends.
my friends, please extend your friendship to Leander. I feel he may need friends in the days to come. I must rest now. Please come back to see me.
Yeah. Get some sleep out. I'll see you soon.
And he leans back, and in moments you can hear a gentle snore coming from him, and one of the healers comes in and goes, "Well, you'll have to leave now, but we'll take good care of him." And as you exit out of the healing house and contemplate the options ahead of you, I think it's a good time to take a break. We will go on a little break here and put ourselves back together, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for the bits, the subs, the donations, everything. We greatly appreciate everyone. Thank you to my players. Oh, so wonderful all the time. So amazing. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. A tight 10, as Myriad likes to say. And we'll be right back. So thank you very much for sticking with us. We'll see you in a minute. The question really is, which barbecue is best? Is it Memphis style? Is it KC style? Is it Texas style? Is it St. Louis? What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Kansas City, baby.
Question will never be answered. Hello, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us. Gary's Barbecue is obviously top-notch barbecue. It's only available at 7-Elevens. So we return from a rather poignant scene between Leander and his father, as Leander uncovered the identity of his mother, whom he's never known, and to realize that she may be dead or alive or a prisoner, and not too sure exactly what that situation is. I did kind of skip over a few things when we were finishing that scene. I was trying to get to the break, but I know, Mary, you picked up the locket. Was there anything you wanted to do in that instant with that, or?
Odile's going to look at the locket and kind of grab at her own locket that's around her neck and sort of just almost like a worry stone, just kind of rub at it. And then she's going to, once Leander is sort of back on his feet, she's going to kind of meekly like hand it back to him.
And sorry.
Thanks.
And Jinandriel, you have the hair in your hand, and you've deftly kind of retied the little lock of hair with the little red ribbon.
Has Jin ever held demon hair before? This is demon hair, I'm assuming.
This is demon hair. I don't know. Would you have?
I don't know how close I've ever been to demon, but will as he is bundling it all back up, he's really kind of focusing on the texture and the feel of the hair itself, and is focusing for the future, for a future spell, and is really kind of getting it together, and will hand it back very, very quickly.
I will say that maybe as you, and by the way, just so you know, your camera's frozen again, so in a minute you can refresh it. When you touch it, you almost, because of the color and everything, and the fact that you kind of expect it to be hot, but you realize it's not at all. Like, it really just feels like very fine silken hair.
Okay.
You replace it in the locket. You close the locket. Tana, you will see the runes that are inscribed at the bottom, and you only get a glimpse of them. You recognize some of them, but what they appear to be is not a single rune, but a number of different runes, some of which you recognize, that have been strategically connected together. And you only see it briefly, so you can't make more out of that, but as Leander gets the locket back and they put the hair back in and whatnot, you will have noticed that.
I sort of lean in closely right before you close it, and then look back.
The four of you find yourselves on the street outside the healing house. I do want to mention a couple things that I wanted to mention during the break that I forgot, because barbecue, but I do want to remind you that you also have contacts, right? Some of you have NPC contacts that could be useful for information gathering or anything like that, so don't forget them in these coming in the coming games, because they might be useful to you. So you are standing outside the healing house. You've heard about Saraxa, the demon who is Leander's mother. You've heard that she is a prisoner or a slave, or perhaps has been killed by a demon called Misael Miserator, and you've heard that name before by whoever was searching the Errol's house earlier. You've heard of the Moon Tower, which is where the mother might be held. You've heard of this minotaur called Beata Skullsinger from the Vermeil Mountains to the southwest. And you've heard of the Eighth Spire, which no one had ever heard of. The Eighth Spire, you've been told that the Eighth Spire is not a place, and that it contains one of the missing enlightenments from the Order of the Seven Leaves, the Order of the Sevens, which means nothing to any of you except to Jinandriel. What do you do?
One of the first things Jin will do is, after we're out in the street, we'll just very quickly turn to Leander and will place his hand on his shoulder, kind of close to the neck. Do you believe cats, when they're familiar, like pull the back of the skin, where they'll be kind of closer to the neck, but just in a very reassuring smile. I don't believe in coincidences. I will follow your father's word, and let's just say I will ride with the pack, and I will protect you with all that I can.
Thanks, bud. That's really nice of you.
I know I have had a lot of students, a lot of very eager disciples in the past, but always had a quandary, and it always was the same question: who am I? And sometimes it would drive them mad. Sometimes it would lead them to dark places. Sometimes it completely paralyzed them. And every person that I meet throughout my travels, it always seems that it is a similar question in so many people. And it looks like this question has fallen before you as well. So may you find the wisdom in your journey. And if you need any guidance or someone to pose questions to, you may use me as a resource. And with that, he'll pull up his cloak and remember that it's cold outside. And
I pause for a moment and look at you and go, thanks. I mean that.
Come on. Back to the forge. It's cold out here. Kid, come with me.
Me? Okay, yeah.
And as we walk, it's only for like a couple of steps. Tana grabs Leander by like the shoulders and pulls him in close. So, come with me.
Yep. What did we say?
Good. You're learning. We'll get you there. Then just releases him and continues walking. That is the kindest he's ever been to you.
There's like a moment of like, oh, okay.
As you walk, I would like everyone to make me an awareness check with a bane.
A bane.
Two
so
20s and pick the worst one, unless you want to spend one of your boons and roll straight, which you can do.
I will spend one of my boons to roll straight.
I will use a boon to roll straight.
I already rolled, so I'm going to honor the Bleakseason rule of calling it before you roll it.
It's by visibility day, so I'm not rolling straight at all.
Yeah. We're here. We're queer. And tired.
And we're failing rolls.
We're failing rolls.
It was
We're here for all of it.
It was awareness?
Yeah, please.
I have a 5 under 10.
Okay. anyone who succeeded, you definitely get the sense that you're being watched or followed. You can't quite spot them. You can't quite put a finger on where it's coming from, but you have that unsettling feeling that there are eyes upon you as you leave the healing house and head towards the forge.
What's it called when you roll a 1?
When you roll a 1, that is called a dragon. That means
Dragon.
a critical success. Is that what you rolled?
Yes.
Well, my friend, you notice up on the rooftops, following you at a very safe distance, a shadow, a shape, someone that is very, very good at hiding.
Can I tell the size of the shadow? Is this like
Looks humanoid.
child?
No,
Like, is this
it's hard to tell,
humanoid?
but you would think that it's probably like an average kind of adult size.
Okay.
Anyone do anything, or do you just head out to the whatchamacallit, the forge?
We get halfway to the forge. It appears I'm getting the feeling someone's. Let's go somewhere not my place of work.
Do you have a home? That's not your work.
I'm not going to. No, you're not. None of you are coming to my house. None of you are coming to my house. Nope. 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 Nope.
Well, we can't go to the night house. They really wouldn't like that. But, Odile, can we maybe go to your inn? Do you want to be like private in public, or do you need like privacy?
I mean, we could just go to the inn. They serve food, so we could do that. Or we could find somewhere else to go.
The inn shall do. That'll give us some anonymity.
And food.
And food. Yeah, I'm really hungry. Oh, jeez.
Cheese.
Cheese?
Promise it won't be half-eaten this time.
So you go back to the inn where Odile is staying.
Mhm.
You travel back across the city, and as you make your way, you feel the presence still of this person that's following you and keeping an eye on you. You will arrive at the inn, and it is just before the noontime break, so it's not overly busy right now. You will be able to find a table right away. The inn, as I said, is like kind of a longhouse thing with a big fire pit in the middle, and then on the sides there are these little chimneys with little fires. So you're able to kind of find yourself a little table that's near the bar and near the fireplace and kind of away from other people. As I said, it's pretty quiet right now. You can see that there are musicians, but they're not currently playing. They're sitting and enjoying a little bit of breakfast before the noon crowd kind of comes in. The way the inns work here, it's not like you come in and they give you a menu or you order something. They have whatever sort of is on tap and whatever they've made that day for food. So as you come in, they will come and they will bring pitchers of water and then pitchers of ale that they will spread out throughout the table. And eventually they will start bringing a little bit of food, which in this particular case will consist of mostly fish. That's like the big thing that people eat around here. So it'll be like a big plate of steaming fish that has been battered, and some bread and cheese along with that. There's like a lot of dill on the fish, and it's got that really kind of nice little dill taste, and there's this little white sauce on the side that you can dip the fish in. So they will bring that to you as you sit there and engage in conversation.
Is the person still following us, you think?
I think so.
Do we see the person, or still get that feeling that the person's still close to us?
No, as you've entered the building, you've gotten the feeling that they've they might be waiting outside or something, but they're no longer immediately in your orbit.
Yes, so I had a feeling going into someplace a little bit more publicly private that they would hopefully stay away. But at least there's food.
So we need to find your mother.
Yeah, but I think we need to find Beata first. I think she's going to be our best lead.
My suggestion would be to go into the night house and retrieve the gifts, the messages that your father sent you.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we do that first and then see what it has to say, and maybe there's more leads, but also maybe we try and find Beata.
Yeah.
Minotaur, yes.
How
Should be easy to find the Minotaur, no?
how rare are minotaurs?
They're very rare. For the most part, they are very solitary creatures. They live out in the mountains mostly. They are known to be very wild and are generally feared. So outside of the free cities, so there's the 4 free cities that are in the land, right? One in the east, one in the west, one in the north, one in the south. Summer is one of those. Outside of those cities, the land is really, really wild and dangerous. It's kind of a wasteland. There are a few trade routes, but for the most part, and Odile perhaps more than anyone, but any of you that have also not spent most of your life in one of the cities, will be able to attest to the fact that when you go outside of the cities, you're taking your chances. Beyond the mountain, Miko, if you get an opportunity to show the Cloven land maps, if you could, that would be great. Beyond the mountains, to the southwest. So if you look, Summer is right in the north of that map. I'll put it on Owlbear also. Actually, none of you have Owlbear open because I told you not to open it, so don't worry about it. But in the north, you can find the map in our chat if you want it. In the north, the city of Summer is there, and then just to the southwest of it, there's a chain of mountains called the Vermeil Mountains, and on the other side of that is the Crimson Kingdom, which is where the elves live. So that area is, very well guarded, very secure, but the elves themselves are kind of a pain in the ass. Outside of that, when you go around to where the 7 Spires are, or travel to the other cities, it's very dangerous out there. It's very wild land. So the Minotaurs tend to be very solitary creatures. They tend to live off of banditry a lot and attacking caravans or travelers, things of that nature. They're not generally known to be very approachable or very, sociable. And you'd never see one in a city. When he mentioned about a Minotaur coming to deliver him a message, it was like, oh, fuck, like, they're very big and very, very mean and very dangerous.
I'm guessing we may have to leave Summer to find this Beata.
I think so. I think she lives in the mountains. Maybe there's more notes on her in my dad's stuff.
I think we should find at least a lead to finding her instead of just trekking out to the wilds without anything.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not leaving here without knowing exactly where I'm going.
I mean, you don't need to know exactly. Where's your sense of adventure?
Exactly. Just follow where the wind takes you.
Yeah, no. See, sometimes the wind takes people into the woods and then they don't come back. Like I've had 1, 2, 3 different people that owed me money say, I'll be back, I'm going into the woods, and then someone came back with their shield and said, yeah, they didn't make it. I guess you're gonna have to put that sword up for sale.
It's a hell of a way to avoid paying a tab.
It really is.
I mean, I've lived in the wilds. They're not bad.
Right, but maybe we should prepare ourselves, you know, so we don't die.
Yeah. Let's prepare ourselves so we don't die. Where are you from?
Who?
You.
The wilds?
The wild? Just from the wild. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I traveled a lot.
Okay.
Not everyone is raised in cities.
I know. That's why I was wondering, because not everyone's raised here. So maybe you come from somewhere far, another city, or I don't know. Asking.
Everyone is welcomed in cities either.
Have you ever left this town? Tana?
No,
I see. Well,
I've gone out, but not for traveling purposes. It was more just go outside, see the sights a little bit, come back in, not for extended periods of time. I have spent a lot of time honing my craft, making sure that I can provide other people with the necessary means to defend themselves when they go outside.
So you are the perfect person to leave then, because you can supply your own weapon. You know what you have to supply yourself with.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll make sure we are all outfitted with the best blades. But it is also dangerous out there. So,
I mean, it's pretty easy. You hear a weird noise, you say, I'm gonna go in the opposite direction from that weird noise. Don't stick your hand into any weird holes. And if you hear singing coming from the water, you ignore it.
there's singing from what is out.
Yeah, you just don't want to pay attention to it. You want to pretend you can't hear this. Sometimes I walk by and I go, oh my god, I definitely don't hear singing happening right now. Sometimes it just helps me to not pay attention to it.
Okay, good to know.
It actually makes a lot of sense.
Ignore the singing. Ignore the singing water.
Except when I sing. You want to make sure you listen to when I sing because that helps you. It's a little confusing. You want to make sure you listen to the good singing. Stay away from the bad singing where you don't know what's underneath the water, because normally it's, oh no, and then you're under the water and drowning.
We'll be fine. It's gonna be fine, right?
The journey.
So, I feel like maybe we want to be inconspicuous while I get my dad's stuff. Should I just go get it now and bring it here?
Would it be suspicious if you showed up there at this time of day?
No, I live there.
Oh. Do you need us to stay behind, or do we need to go in disguise?
Do you think it would be weird if you showed up with 3 people?
I think it would be weird if something's following us and then it saw all 4 of us leave, because we are a little bit conspicuous looking. So maybe we...
That's true. And we're already being watched.
But if we let one of our group go by themselves and then something bad happens to them, the rest of us will feel bad. So we should keep an eye out on everyone to make sure nothing bad happens.
Buddy system?
I like a buddy. I like my buddies.
Your guard friends have already seen me with you, so maybe it would make sense for me to go with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you have any ideas on how to get those guys back for, constantly picking on me.
We could put rat poison in their food.
Well, a little extreme, but I like the way you're thinking.
That seems harsh. And pulls out a larger dagger. Have you just tried hurting them?
No, because, like, you know, when you're part of a guild, you don't want to, like, kill your guild. You know, then you get kicked out of the guild. There's a whole bunch of paperwork involved. I don't really want to get into it.
Well, we were just informed. And are there musicians playing, by the way? Like, no one can, like, hear what we're saying. It's being
you're speaking in low tones there. The fire is no one around you, so you're
just double checking. But we were just told that this organization, this Night House, is a front for the Night King. So besides the messages and the gifts that your father has sent you, there may be other clues, like deep down in the inner halls of this house, that we may need to gather information from before we leave.
Oh, not a bad idea.
Like, is there a way you can get, like, an audience with the head of the guild? Or perhaps if you got, like, a really high valued prize, is there anyone with, like, a bounty on their head, or you can get a bounty on their head and then you can catch them? And then
Loretta Wiggles.
Oh, the murderer.
So, wait. You were sneaking around my forge because Loretta is
a murderer.
She is absolutely a high-profile killer, and I was told to keep an eye on her.
There is evil intent in those eyes. There's evil intent, and I am sorry that she has fooled you.
No, that's okay. Intent is one thing, but she killed people. She's a murderer.
Yeah. And she definitely was, like, you know, my top priority that I was assigned to keep tabs on.
Who'd she kill?
Does it matter?
What? I don't have, like, a list of names or things like that. I just have, like, the intel that I was told from.
But if you were to apprehend Wiggles and bring Wiggles before your Night House, would that grant you an audience?
I think it probably would. Like, if she is... Listen, I think that she plays dumb, Tana. No, like, I think 100%. that she plays dumb. She pretends she's stupider than she is, and then I walk in and she's just, like, sitting there in the dark, like...
Maybe she's the one following us.
Shit! Greta!
That's fair. I used to follow my master. So, if we somehow convince Wiggles to come with us to the Night House.
Yeah. And then I say, this is definitely her. And I talk to the head boss guy. Then I can tell you what bunk is mine. And maybe you guys could go and, like, get all the stuff, you know, and then maybe, you know, we could spread out and, like, figure it, you know?
Were you told to apprehend Wiggles or just to watch?
Just to watch.
Yeah, see. How about this? You go to your bunk.
Okay.
Get a couple books. Just a couple, not all. While you're there, you also go, hey, maybe this Wiggles what did the Wiggles person do? I think I know where they are. Maybe I can go get them. And now you have a direct order to go apprehend the person, because if you show up with the person you're just told to watch, that means they know that they are being watched by you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes.
You are not doing your job. Therefore, you will be reprimanded again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Great. Yes, I can do that. And I've just been the whole time I've just been like pushing the fish around on my plate. Like I haven't eaten any of it.
Please don't play with your food.
Sorry.
Is there like anywhere that they like keep records?
You know that there's a very extensive and well secured library in the Night House.
There is an extensive and well secured library in the Night House.
And you don't have access to that.
What I am in the Night House is the equivalent to what Loretta is at the Forge. Ranking wise.
So you clean the floor.
No, I mean, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. But do you have keys, or do you have very restricted access?
I don't have keys. I don't have keys, but I could find someone who does, and maybe take them.
Yeah.
What if Wiggle strikes again and becomes a more lucrative target?
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So here's the thing. We say, hey, I know where Wiggles is. And they say, okay, go get her. And I go, okay, great. I'm going to go get my stuff from my bunk to make sure that I can apprehend her properly. And I go there and I get on, and then I go and I meet, and then we bring Loretta. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a good plan.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Where's the cheese?
Plan.
So you have a plan?
We have the loose shaping semblance somewhat of a plan.
The concepts of a plan.
The
concepts.
concepts of a plan.
So what does this plan involve?
Apparently, I need to make sure Loretta is available at the forge. So I must go back there.
Loretta's always at the forge.
I know. But available. That's the trick.
So what do you do?
I'm going to go with Leander.
Mm-hmm.
Although they probably won't let me in, so I will just be very cute and demure and mindful outside of Night House.
So the two, you're going to the Night House? All right, what are the other guys doing?
Jin is going to watch Tana leave and try to get to the roof and see if I can watch who's watching us.
Okay, excellent.
Who watches the
Make me a
watchers?
stealth roll. And Tana, you're heading back to the forge?
Yes. Jin, do I know that you're going up to the roof?
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll be like, I'll watch behind us.
Then I will just, as if nothing's wrong, I'm just gonna go back to the forge, not care.
All right.
I got an 11 out of 12.
Okay. So you climb up to the roof. Odile and Leander, you take off and head towards the Night House. Tana, you head back towards the forge. We'll start with you, Adrian, as you are frozen again. Climb up to the roof, and so maybe we'll let you refresh and then I'll come back to you. Tana, you walk through the streets, heading back towards the forge. As you approach it, you hear the distinct ting ting ting, ting 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 ting, ting 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 ting, ting of her forging.
As I get to the door, I'm trying to hear the sound and determine what type of blade she's trying to forge versus what type of blade she should be forging. So, like, if it sounds like she's banging on a long sword, but she should be using that type of pattern to forge a dagger or something of that.
Yeah, you totally, as you approach, you totally realize that's exactly what she's doing. Listening to the ka-tink, and from the sound you can determine the width and size and the length of the blade, and it sounds to be about right.
Wiggles, I have returned.
Ah, boss, jeez. You know, for a big guy, you're pretty quiet. I mean, I am hammering metal, and I do have wax plugs in my ear, so I guess that probably gives you a bit of an advantage.
Yep.
She pulls these little strings that are hanging out of her ears and these little wax plugs below.
There we go.
I'm thinking of marketing these. They're really great. Like, they cut down on all the annoying noise, like, you know, the bellows and the hammering and, you know, the nails and the, you know, I'm starting to think maybe I'm not made to be a blacksmith. Everything in here annoys me. It's really weird.
Talk to me.
Well, when I was 11 years old, I remember that I'd gone out a little bit, left my mom's house, and we lived in this very small hut just near this little river. And every day my mom would go down there in the river, and there were these little red fish that she would catch in there, and that's what we ate most of the time. And my mother was really strange. She would fish with her hands, so she would like kind of hike up her skirts up, and then she would waddle into the water, and she would just sort of stand there and, you know, grab these fish. And sometimes she'd be there for like 30-40 minutes or whatever, and then grab the fish. And then most of the time I would sort of come down and kind of sit there and watch her. You're not listening to me, are you?
No, I was more hoping you'd be talking about the things that bother you, not just talking in general. Maybe I'm gonna try to be more clear.
Okay.
Yeah. So talk to me about what's bothering you.
Well, I think I'm grossly underpaid. I think I'm grossly undervalued. I mean, I could bring so much more to this place. I mean, look, you're a great weaponsmith, but you know, you're a pretty shit businessman. Like, I'm not going to I'm not trying to be mean here, Tana. I think, you know, you have your strengths. I think my strengths maybe lie in a different area than in the forging of these things. Maybe we could enter into a more kind of equal partnership where you make the things and I sell them. And I think we could probably kind of you know, spruce up this place a little bit and really kind of increase the revenue, which we would share more or less equally, if you get my drift. Is that the kind of things you wanted me to talk about? All right. I'm getting your face is saying no.
Good to know. Good to know.
All right. Good talk, boss. Can I get back to work?
Empty your pockets.
What's going on?
Pockets.
You're being weird, boss. And she reaches into her pockets and she starts pulling out. She's got coins, bits of papers, little shavings of metal. She's got a few nails, a couple of rivets.
Does she pull out that blade?
You don't see any knives.
Understood. My apologies. Well, no. But yes.
Being weird, boss.
Always. So, before coming here, what made you decide to just join here?
Oh, you know, I just, you know, kind of been moving around, doing this and that. And, you know, I told myself, I woke up one morning and I told myself, Loretta Wiggles, you're no longer a child. It's time for you to make some decisions about your life and, you know, find a trade. My dad always said, you know, a trade, Loretta, that's where the real money and the security is. You want to get into a trade. And so I started making a list of all the things I could do and things I wanted to do, and they didn't dovetail very much, the two of them, which was very dispiriting there for a while.
How'd you come up here, though? You seem like you have a mind for other things and a set of abilities that would work in other ways.
Yeah, I've always thought that I'd be great at floral arrangements. There's just not really a lot of opportunities for that up here. I mean, you guys don't have a lot of flowers. I mean, the fact that it's winter all the time is one thing, but you don't have a lot of flowers. So I thought maybe that's not. And then so I started looking around. I looked around and I said, what does everyone have? Well, everyone here has two things, wood or steel. And then I thought, going down to the woods, chopping woods, that's just not me. Plus, if the snow's really deep, that really sucks for someone my height. So I thought,
and I just put my hand on her head.
You're being even weirder, boss.
And like the claws come out and like start reaching around the top of her head.
Oh, that feels good, boss. Yeah, can you just like, oh yeah, right there. Oh,
and then
good.
my head gets really close to hers.
Are you gonna eat me?
I will take what you've said into consideration.
Is this part of the apprenticeship?
Possibly.
Okay.
If I ever see a blade that's not one of mine in my shop again, we will have problems.
Okay, boss. You're the boss.
Good. Now,
Jeebus. Whew. That felt good though, boss. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe we could invent that, like a thing that would be kind of like a little claw, but maybe not as sharp and not as, but then people could just kind of use that on their head and scratch. That would be great.
Honestly, not a bad idea. Make it. Take a shot.
I'll work on that. Yeah.
Matter of fact, make that your priority right now. Rest of the day, that's what you're building.
All right, I'm on it.
Good. Stay here. Make that.
Absolutely, no problems.
Cool. And now she's distracted.
Meanwhile, up on the roofs, Adrian, who is frozen again. Adrian, what's going on, my friend? That good old Texas internet. Only steers and terrible internet come from Texas, and you don't much look like a steer, so I guess that pretty much narrows down the option, doesn't it? Leander and Odile, you make your way back towards the night house. When you approach it, it's two different guys at the front. Hey, Entropy Emporium, thank you so much for the raid. We greatly appreciate you coming into our little home here. Make yourself at home, reach into the fridge, whatever's in there is yours. We are playing some Dragonbane. The players have just split the party as players of their caliber and levels of experience know you shouldn't do. So let's see how that works out for them. Leander, Odile, you approached a night house.
Sorry. One more thing.
Oh, yeah.
As I let Wiggles do whatever the hell they're doing, to make this new device that will scratch your head, even though it's very nice. I'm going to take out one of the blades that we recovered and start looking at the runes that are inscribed upon it.
Okay, go ahead and make me a master blacksmith roll, or crafting roll, I guess it would be in this particular instance. You can use your master craftsman, I think, gives you a bonus for that kind of stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Master blacksmith. And one stretch can sharpen against a sharper one. Once you craft a metal weapon, it requires an anvil to cost more power. It doesn't actually help you with this. Just go ahead and make me a crafting roll then.
Okay.
And because you have some knowledge of demonic runes, I will give it to you at a boon.
Thank you. 2 and a 4, under 12.
Excellent. As you check out the demon sword, you, as I was saying earlier, realize that they're not made of any sort of metal that you know. It's kind of like this mercury-like metal that seems liquid. Like when you hold it up, you almost feel like it's a liquid sword, but it's very tangible and very real, and it just kind of moves like this dark mercury. The runes that are on them, as I said earlier, it's going to take you a few days to study them and learn them. So even looking at them now, it doesn't really tell you anything out of them. The only thing you can kind of tell is that they're inert. They don't seem to hold any power anymore. And as we talked about, the runes are going to take, well, in your case, 8 shifts to...
We'll get there. I'll use that as one of my shifts and spend the rest of this shift to look at.
Okay, looking at that? Excellent.
Yeah.
I'll buy that for $1. As you arrive near the night house, my friends, you find it very much as it was earlier. It is now early afternoon. There's a couple different guards out front. As you come by, they see, they're like, "Hey, Leander, it's a good word."
Hey, just popping in my bunk. Do you know if the boss is around?
Looks at you, looks at Odile, goes, "Just popping into your bunk, eh? Nice."
Not like that. Is the boss around?
Which one would that be?
Big boss?
Ooh. You talking about Rowan Dancer?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You want to see the voice?
Yeah, I'd like to see the voice, or hear the voice, or talk to the voice.
Well, little Leander bringing back some fancy schmancy piece of tail and asking to talk to the boss. You're like growing a little bit too big for your britches there.
No, I was assigned a job, and I'm following through on it, so I'd like to talk to the big boss, please, without any more interruptions.
All right. I mean, I don't think you're going to get to talk to Rowan. I mean, let's face some facts, but, one of the 2 stewards might see you. Try Phaedra. She's going to be in the training, on the training grounds. She might be able to help you out.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Miss?
Give like a little clumsy curtsy.
The 2 of you walk into the night house. It's kind of quieter than you might have expected, Odile. There's not a lot of going on. You see people here and there. They give you a little bit of a look, but nothing too major. The building itself, you realize as you walk onto it, is that sort of dais of stone that serves as that kind of little island underneath it. You now realize that the building itself, the stone parts of the building, are actually, it's as if they were the entire building, and the platform underneath were carved out of a giant, a giant stalagmite of rock or something. The walls of the building, the floors, the bottom of the walls, and this base are all of one piece. Again, as if it's got kind of that look of like a sandcastle almost, right? Where the ground kind of comes up and becomes the walls and then goes back in and becomes the building itself. So it looks like it's all kind of been created or kind of drawn or, molded out of some giant stone work that would have been here a long time ago. The place is very clean, very well kept. You see very few doors, very few windows. You move in and you hear people training on the back, and you go around the courtyard through where there's a stable with some horses and stuff. And then you come around the back where you see like kind of a very traditional sort of training ground. There are dummies, and you can see like maybe 3 or 4 different sort of acolytes that are practicing throwing knives or sort of fighting. And there is a wolfkin that's standing in the middle of it. She is completely white furred except for this long black streak that goes down the side of her face and down and disappears into her armor. There's just this one side of her face is this streak of black hair that goes down into her armor. The rest of her is completely white. And as she is standing there overlooking the rest of the recruits that are working, she's wearing this very close fitting dark leather armor. and she has a very fine sword that is strapped to her back. You know this is Fedra Osment, who is the overseer who trains recruits. One of the two stewards of the Night House. And as you approach, he arches an eyebrow and looks over at you. Young Astarius.
Hey, Phaedra. Nice to see you. How are you? How was your day?
What do you want?
I have some intel about a job that I was given. I was wondering if maybe I could talk to you, or if I could talk to the voice at some point. That would be great.
You can't speak to the voice, but you can speak to me. What was this job?
It was about I straighten up a little bit and I say, it was about following a mark by the name of Loretta Wiggles. I hear tell that her code name is Shale. She's purportedly, she purportedly killed the house mason there over in Rust, in that chapter. So I have some information on her that I would like to impart.
I see. Have you found her?
Yeah, I have. And I clasp my big paws in front of me, trying to look respectable.
Hey, DM Fedor, thank you so much for the raid. We greatly appreciate you coming in, dropping in. We're playing some Dragonbane right now. Grab a seat. We are going to see where this is leading us, as you are attempting to talk to the leader of the Thieves Guild. What passes for a Thieves Guild around there? Phaedra looks you up and down, looks at your friend. And she is?
This is my colleague, Odile. She is the eyes and ears of the operation. She is quite astute, and we found Loretta Shale, codename, together.
Is that so?
Yes. She's a micro celebrity, actually.
Well, perhaps you might wish to speak to Shimmer then.
Yes. Would I recognize the name Shimmer?
Yeah, you would recognize the name Shimmer as being the sort of the guardian of knowledge of the Night Guild, of the House of Night. She's the one who tends the library and kind of, keeps track of all the lore and everything that has to do with knowledge and the history in the Night House.
Yes, Phaedra, thank you so much. I would really appreciate having a conversation with Shimmer. I think it would be very relevant to the case.
You'll find her in the library.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I hope your training goes super duper well.
Thank you. You leave her behind and head into the building itself. What you're looking for is the Hall of Nocturnal Knowledge. It's a library, and the lore keeper there is one Shimmer Stock, is what she's called. Yep.
As we're walking, Odile's going to look up to Leander. That was really good. You sounded so official.
Did I sound authoritative?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm trying to talk like they do,
Yeah. If you came to me with that tone and that posture, I would for sure just be listening to you and hanging on your every word.
Oh. Okay. And Leander has a little extra pep in his step.
As you step into the hall, you find your way up into the library. When you arrive where the library is, you find it closed and the doors are locked. And there's these two big grates that are kind of closed. There's these two big doors and these two big grates that are kind of closed in front of it. The halls are very dim. They're all stone. There are no portraits. There's nothing on the walls. There's just intermittently these oil lamps that are there. The floor itself is made of this dark wood that doesn't creak or make any sound as you walk down it. And this sort of vaulted ceiling of this stone corridor is a few feet sort of above your head, and all of it's kind of very oppressive and kind of weighing down on you. As you approach the library door, you see that the gates are locked, and you stand there for a moment kind of wondering what to do. And you hear a voice coming from a little bit further down the hall. Leander Astarius.
Yep, that's me.
You turn to see the woman known as Shimmer Stalk. She is an elf. Her skin is very dark. She has these long, sort of purplish braids that come down to the back, all the way almost to her belt. She is wearing these very colorful, and this is where she gets her name from, Shimmer. She wears these very colorful robes of purple and yellow and various shades of green, and there's gold pipings, and the thread in it is this beautiful golden thread that kind of shines in the light and kind of catches a glimpse of the light. She is holding a staff, this big stick that the head of it is like this owl that is perched and sort of looking at you in some ways. And as you face the lore keeper, she looks at you and says, "To what do we owe the honor?"
Is there a wooden door near me, or a shelf or something?
The doors behind the gates, the doors would be wooden.
I like reach back and just knock on the door as a formality, and like, sorry, I thought that's what we do when we come to see you. I have some, I think, pertinent information for you that I would like to impart unto you. This is my colleague and associate Odile. She is the eyes and ears of the operation. She has been extremely helpful in the task that I have been set.
Pleasure to meet you.
She comes over, totally ignoring Leander, and sort of towers over you a little bit, Odile. She's maybe about a head taller than you. She looks down at you, and she goes, the Swan. I've heard about you.
I just like out of the corner of my mouth. So Leander, I go, micro celebrity.
I can see that.
I'm glad you've come to me, saving me the trouble of finding you.
What does that mean?
Shall we step into my den?
You know, we could talk out here. I think this is as good a place as any for us
Silence. To get into the room now.
Okay. Yep, right away.
And as you walk into the room, she's coming up behind, but she waits for a moment, and you hear her talking to someone, and you say, "You can tell Fallowfield I found her. You can stop looking." And then she steps into the room and closes the door behind her. Up on the rooftop, Jinandriel, you climb up. Give me an awareness check.
I rolled a dragon. A 1.
Excellent. You climb up, and immediately you know, as you stand on this roof, you know that the person who's been stalking you is right there, right around the corner. There is a large chimney stack, and on the other side of it, well, you can't see that person. They're behind this chimney stack, but you know they're there, and you know they're aware of you.
Okay. So
what do you do?
So I'm aware that they're aware
that you're
I'm
aware that they're aware. Yeah.
So let us enjoy this dance. So are they looking away from me? Are they following Tana? Are they?
No, you get the feeling that they were maybe about to, but then they heard you coming, they sensed you or whatever. Now they're kind of just waiting to see what you're going to do.
I will I will start approaching towards them. Are they at like another building on the other side of the street?
No, they're in the same building you are.
Oh, well then I will approach slowly, staring right at them as if this was an arranged meeting.
A female voice comes to you from around the corner from around the other side of the smokestack. I hear you.
You'll pause for a moment, turn. I wasn't trying to hide.
You hear movement, and from around the smokestack steps out this one very fluid movement. You recognize immediately as you see her garb. She's an elf, also with dark skin. She has this long crimson cloak. She carries this intricately carved bow. And as you see her, you immediately recognize a member of the Crimson Order.
Jin will place his hands in his robes and do the appropriate etiquette, the ceremonial bow. He will nod his head, and he will look very knowingly at this person, as we are of similar orders, and approach closer.
She's watching you with very careful eyes underneath their hood. Very relaxed, doesn't seem to be...
I didn't know there was any of your order here.
I wasn't expecting to see someone of your order here either.
How long have you been here?
Not very long.
Are you... I know this seems like a very silly question, but are you seeking something?
I am.
Have you found it?
Not yet.
Well, then maybe it's lucky that our paths have crossed. Perhaps I may be able to help looking around.
Perhaps you can, sleeping dragon.
I told you, I must always keep moving. I have no time for new students. If you wish for me to be your master, you're going to have to leave. I have no time. I have another mission. I seek something else, and having another student will do nothing but get in my way. It will slow me down.
Time is not what I'm after, sleeping dragon. My name is Keda Benedictori, and I seek the demon known as Syroxa, for it is my sworn duty to the Crimson Region to slay her. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will end tonight's session.